Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain the optimization metrics and how they are different from dashboard metrics you just evaluated. On dashboard, you evaluated engagement rates and impression, post type, media type, followers growth. On optimization metrics, you will see totally different metrics. You focus on how to improve your performance by adjusting post length or timing or hashtags. There are so many ways to adjust your performance, but for your exercise 1, we will focus on timing and also hashtags. But remember, your success will be determined by content quality. That's the primary determinant. Optimization metrics such as timing and hashtags are only secondary factors. So hashtags will work only your content is great. There are caution areas when you analyze and interpret optimization metrics. The reason is the data source is different from overall dashboard metrics. On dashboard, you included all different types of post type. You included original tweet, reply, retweet, and quote, but optimization metrics focuses on original tweet and quote tweet only. It doesn't include reply post or retweets, because these are dependent on other people's content. Optimization, this is about how to improve your performance. Keyword calculates what is optimal based on your original content and quoted content. First question on your exercise 1, part 2 is understanding 3 major caution areas, but also you have to know data source for your brand. You have to know what is the total number of tweets that determine the optimization metrics for your brand. To do that, you have to click dashboard. You have to locate this metric, most frequent post type, and then hover your mouse. There must be update since your last time analysis. So you want to report the latest information. Find this, the frequency, which is 15. I'm using Adidas Originals as an example. And the quoted tweet is only 2 posts. So I add up these 2 numbers, 15 and 2, then it becomes 17. 17 is a data source that is calculated for your optimization source. So you can verify that information by clicking any tab called frequency. You can click here. If you add up frequency, it becomes 17. And also here, if you click hashtag, if you add up, it becomes 17. So you have to understand the data source and then related caution area. So first, the caution area is, unlike metrics on dashboard, optimization metrics only consider original tweet and quoted tweet. It excludes reply post and retweet posts in calculation. Second caution area is, if your brand didn't tweet often or didn't utilize various posting time or hashtags for these posts, then optimization metrics will provide misleading insights due to the small sample size. This is a great example to share. This brand is actually a global brand. See how many different times they tried over the past 3 months. They are targeting global audiences. Actually, that makes more sense, right? By looking at these various data points, we can tell which times are working better versus less working. Compared to that, if you look at this example, they tweeted only few times and they only used the narrow times. It's pretty much random. It limits your insights, right? Same thing, if your brand didn't try hashtags, it just shows 0 hashtag and that there is no comparison with a different number of hashtags. Then how can you know optimal number of hashtags? How do we know which hashtags are working better? You want to encourage your brands to try different hashtags and different number of hashtags. You can find more meaningful insights. Third caution area is related to sensitivity and distribution. As you can see on this graph, there are obviously 2 outliers. Means is very sensitive to small sample size. Whenever there is strong outliers, it may skew the data so easily, and it may change what is considered optimal on keyword data. especially when your brand tweeted only a few times, or they didn't tweet various posting time, or they didn't use various hashtags, then you have to be more careful in analyzing the data. You always figure out the why behind the numbers, why hashtag is not working. You always have to be suspicious and then analyze the data more critically. Okay, this is the major caution areas for optimization metrics. When you fill in the form, do not just copy down the answers, but summarize the key point in your own word.